Oh my God, hi.
Hi.
I missed
I
you.
missed you too. It's been a long time.
I'm feeling so chaotic.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like out of practice.
What did you just say?
I'm out of practice for
Oh,
doing
I
this.
thought you said practice.
Oh, no.
Apparently, I'm out of practice too.
You're out of practice listening to me.
Yeah,
You haven't remembered what my voice sounds like.
I gotta focus in.
Yeah, Hannah and I had a bye week for the holidays, and now we're recording a little late for,
Happy episode 11.
yeah. Shall we crack into these?
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want me to do yours?
Yeah, actually, Hannah is gonna have to do mine for me
That's for, that's
because
for baby.
I did my nails yesterday and they're after you.
Sure, thanks.
They're paper thin from having dip on before. But they're long and I want to preserve the length, so I'm trying to tread lightly with things that concern my nails. Cheers.
Salud.
That's good. It's been a while.
That's crisp.
It is crisp.
I like the color red that you've chosen.
Thank you. I actually it's not my favorite.
Really?
I had to throw away my favorite red.
Is it more orangey, your favorite
It's
red?
more like cherry, like bright red. This is more like a darker Christmassy blood red.
Yeah.
But I'm a red nail girl, so
Yeah, red is your go-to when it comes to nails. Will you please explain why that is?
okay, throwing me under the bus in the first 2 minutes of the episode, slay.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's really weird. I will give a trigger warning for actual blood and horror here, but I read American Psycho. This is about as weird as it's gonna get, you guys. So I'm just really
And this is the book, not the movie, so
yes.
it's different.
I read American Psycho when I was in high school. It came in a list of recommendations from another book I loved called Survivor by Chuck Palahniuk, which is a satire on fame, and it's wonderful. All of my friends listening to this who are like, Kimmy doesn't read. Well, bitches, there you go.
It's just the two in high school. That's
I
it.
have a favorite book, and I did read it when I was probably 15, but alas. At the end, when I finished it in my Kindle, it recommended American Psycho. And I was like, oh, I don't know if anyone has read American Psycho, but it is a lot more pornographic than it is horror themed. And I didn't realize this obviously in the beginning when I started reading it. And then as I got through it, I was like, oh shit, this is like really vulgar. Anyway, I remember the main character. Jason, what's his name? I don't even remember. Patrick Bateman? Yeah, okay. Patrick Bateman kept describing like the hottest girls he could find as girls with red nails. And there's one scene in the book where like if you want to go Google it, it is graphic as hell, and I'm sorry and I don't know why this had such an effect on me as like a 16-year-old, but I was just like I have to have red nails for the rest of my life if I want to be hot.
Fair.
The scene is absolutely disgusting, but it really influenced me. And so now I always have red nails. I always feel like the hottest and like the sexiest when I have red nails.
I love that.
Particularly long red nails too.
Yeah. I mean, red has always been a color associated with like sex.
Yeah.
Like historically, even when you think about ads and like all that psychology.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need to mention I saw a TikTok yesterday or today about the red nail theory.
Yeah, it's not new. It's been going around for like a couple of years.
Yeah, and the psychology also in with the red nail theory is nothing new either. But basically, the theory is that a lot of guys maybe had moms or teachers or mothering type figures growing up that had red nails because it was a really popular color for nail polish in the 90s and like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the psychology, obviously Oedipus Rex and Freud and
this is
everyone loves
podcast.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
As we've mentioned before, is that men find women with red nails attractive nowadays when they're older because they obviously want to fuck their moms and they're looking for a mother figure. So do with that as you will.
I'll
but
raise
I
you.
thought that was a very interesting
that was
take.
actually the first time I had heard of red nail theory as it is associated with like men being reminded of their mothers.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I know that the influencer Bridget, and I don't know her last name because her handle on everything is literally just Bridget, had red nail theory in terms of like getting engaged. Like girls who were like
Oh,
on the precipice of maybe getting proposed to would go get a red manicure and then like the week later would just get engaged. And so it
interesting.
was this whole like good luck, like manifest getting engaged thing, which is not why I like having red nails, but
Yeah.
that was the red nail theory, quote unquote, that she popular what?
Slowly.
Popularized.
There it is.
Holy shit. That word in like the last 2 to 3 years during COVID.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I haven't heard that one, but
so there's a lot of red nail theories, and I so far am the only one who has associated it with American Psycho. So
I'm sure there's others out there. We just have yet to find them.
I should post about it on Reddit. I'm sure there's another weirdo out there who like
Someone's already beat you
read
to
that
it.
book at a really pinnacle time in their lives and was just like, oh, this is the only way I'll ever be attractive to men.
Yeah, it's like people who read Twilight and then decided to be like super like twitchy and like shy and like look down all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Interesting
Interesting
theories
take.
out there, interesting takes.
Yeah. I don't really, I don't love sharing mine because it's so weird. And my biggest fear is someone Googling, you can Google it, whatever. I recently looked up like the excerpt that Patrick Bateman is talking about red nails in, and it's like absolutely horrific.
I love that movie, by the way. I think I need to read the book.
The book is good. It's just like, I wish I would have read it in my 20s and not in high school.
I think because I saw the movie for the first time as someone who's worked for corporate America in their 20s.
Mhm.
And so I think it is just like it's funny
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be like the
It's
satire of
toxic masculinity.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the toxic work culture that was working on in finances and on Wall
Yeah,
Street.
on Wall Street, yeah.
We don't have to talk about American Psycho all the time. But
Well, I can spin from there. Speaking of finances, the reason I didn't get my nails done, and I did them myself is because I'm poor now.
why?
Because I bought Louboutins yesterday.
What kind?
They're just black patent leather pumps. I have been eyeing them for years.
Okay.
And December is a really bad month to have decided that I need them now because, as we all know, it is gifting season.
But also really great deal season.
Yeah,
for
I
some
did get them
things.
like 25% off, which is pretty unheard of
That's
for a
nice.
designer item.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. They'll be here in a week.
Wow.
I'm going to wear them to Nutcracker and some of our holiday festivities, hopefully. I went into the store yesterday to try them on because another thing that sucks about designer clothes, in addition to it being so expensive, is that the sizing is whack.
Oh yeah.
So their shoes typically run a half to a full size small. I ended up going a full size and a half up
Wow.
in their heels. So I'm normally like an 8.5. I bought these heels in a 10,
Okay.
which is interesting because I'm like, what if you're a size 10?
You're a size 14. I don't know.
Do they make like 12, size 12 women's shoes?
Maybe. I don't know. Do designers believe in larger sizes anymore?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I did see my first piece of designer anything that like I
Mhm.
actually really want.
Okay, I'm so excited. What was it?
I think it might actually be Louis Vuitton, maybe. I don't know. It's those
Oh,
shoes.
Louis Vuitton.
Oh, it's
Yes.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, it's something like that. I was like, maybe it's YSL. It was like Frenchish, but the Louis Vuitton shoes where it's like supposed to look like you're wearing shoes with
Yeah.
like your leg, the illusion effect or whatever they're calling
It's like
them.
a knee-high boot.
They also have ankle cut.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So it has like a skin tone, a sock, and a black shoe, but the whole thing is the shoe. So you can get it knee high, so the skin tone goes up to your knee, or you can have a little ankle cut of the skin showing.
They're like Polly Pocket boots.
It's very camp. And
Yeah.
I know everyone else is like kind of like, what the fuck? Why are they releasing this? But I'm like, this is for me.
Yeah,
This
they
is
are.
my time.
I was so surprised. I saw that influencer that you sent review them,
Mhm.
and she pulled out the box, and it was Louis Vuitton, and I was like, Louis Vuitton is making these? They're like knee-high boots printed with leg, so that it looks like you're
Yeah.
wearing pumps. Only it's
Polly Pocket is a great description.
yeah, it's like heels printed on a knee-high boot.
It's just great. And it is a heeled boot, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like so out there and wacky. And I'm like, that is me. It's my
Is there
time
a-
to get into designer.
I have a quick cue.
Okay.
Is there only one skin tone?
There's two that I saw.
Oh, that's super inclusive.
There
Good for
might be
them.
more, but there's a dark one and then like the light one.
Okay.
So I guess if you were like
I
olive
can't wait
skinned
for
or
the
something
internet
in
to get a
between.
hold of that.
Well, I think everyone's just kind of obsessed with the concept right now because it's so ridiculous to all of the girls who are
Yeah.
typically into like the looks.
Meanwhile, makeup companies are creating like 800 shade foundation lines.
Not all of them.
Yeah. And yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's my time to start breaking into designer fashion. So if you see me wearing those boots, mind your business. I definitely robbed someone at gunpoint for them.
Maybe they'll make knockoffs on Shein in like 2 weeks.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'll make my own.
That's always a fun like time when Amazon or like Shein finally gets a hold of
Yeah.
something that's gone absolutely viral and you're just like, hell yeah.
It's like
Probably similar quality.
It's like when Elf drops skincare.
Yeah. Yes.
And makeup, and you're like, oh great, now I don't have to spend like $40 to $50 on this product. I can spend max 12.
Are
and it
Elf
will still be
products
okay.
your numero uno beauty hack?
No, I think it depends on the product as well. That like depending on what the price is. Like for the Supergoop dupe.
Yeah.
Wow, what a rhyme. I'm like, I don't know if I would have ever picked that out for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But like some of the like the primer that they have that's like the Milk Makeup one.
Love it.
That is
it's sitting on my vanity right there.
Yeah, and I did try the Milk Makeup one, and it's not one for one, but
Right.
it's really close.
Yeah.
And it's a fraction,
Love.
tiny fraction of the cost. Like that I think is like $7 an Elf, and I think it's like
40.
20 to depending on the size.
Yeah.
For Milk. So I'm like, okay, some of those things are good, but like
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if all the powders are there for them,
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
certain things I
love a good dupe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, I mean, I know I just bought designer shoes, but that was like a treat. It was like a little gift to myself. But otherwise, I'm fine. But like, I don't need my clothes to be.
And it all bothers me too because some things that are marketed as more like upscale or exclusive. I
Mhm.
mean, not all like designer products necessarily, but
Yeah.
like an upscale whatever. The quality is
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. Where I'm like, makeup, clothing, whatever, beauty. If the quality is going to be about the same, and I'm going to spend like double the price,
Yeah.
why?
There's a guy on TikTok who takes really high-end designer clothes and bags specifically is the content I've seen and tears them to shreds and like assesses the
I've seen that.
stitching and the quality of the leather
Mhm.
and like everything down to the hardware and how nice the zipper is like. And it's always so interesting when he's like, this like Loewe bag was like $7,000 and he's like, my I guess audit of it would be like 1 or 2 and you're just like
Yeah.
that's insane and it proves that you are paying for a name.
Exactly. And it's like, am I actually paying for quality at that point? Because if I'm going to drop, you know,
Mhm.
$1,000 or more on something,
Yeah.
especially something as like a fashion product where the cycle
Yeah,
of
so quick.
relevancy and everything.
Which by the way is why I bought black pumps.
That's how I feel. I'm like, if it's something that I'm going to cherish forever and
Yeah.
like to me would be great, and or it's like a silhouette or something classic that'll never go out of style. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it either speak to me personally, wow,
And perfectly.
and perfectly has to perfectly say sentences out loud. If the inanimate objects aren't talking, I don't want it.
I think those boots could talk.
Those boots are made for talking, and that's just what
they
they'll do. Anyway, but I guess speaking of like all of this beauty and stuff,
Yeah, girl.
your skin's been looking really great lately.
Thanks. It actually feels so bad today. That's so crazy you say that.
That's crazy.
I woke up with like all these little pimples around my this is a really lovely conversation for our listeners, but I woke up with all these little pimples like right here and I had
around
this
the edge of her mouth.
Yeah, I had like this era where I had really sensitive skin to the point where if I was eating a salad and the like piece of lettuce with any type of oil-based dressing on it brushed my skin where contact was made, I would break out immediately.
Interesting.
Like by the end of the meal, I would have like little whiteheads.
Oh wow.
And these two that I woke up with this morning feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what did I eat yesterday? I'm like trying to remember like what I got on my skin. So I don't know. But yeah, thanks. My favorite beauty hack
Okay.
lately has been, I was literally just telling you and Audrey about this before we started filming. I have started taking The Ordinary, so another basically dupe brand. It's like
Mhm.
cheap skincare. I've been taking their glycolic acid toner solution, and I literally put it on my body, everyone, from head to toe.
For body breakouts or
I no,
anything?
I knock on fucking wood. I don't get body acne,
Okay.
but well, actually, that's a lie. I get butt acne. And can we be
Oh,
real about that for a
I
second?
have so much like acne on my body.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like butt cheek specifically is what I'm
Correct.
getting at here.
I do. I have that too.
Yeah.
And I get KP on my butt as well.
Can the men just like
So
skip
it's
the
crazy.
next
Yeah.
2 minutes of this? Because I'm perfect and I definitely don't get acne on my butt. But
Yeah.
I started actually using that glycolic acid toner for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get KP on the back of which is keratosis paritis,
Paralysis.
essentially.
Just I don't
Paralysis of how good I look.
know. Ooh. Stunned with beauty.
It's like basically, I think it's also called strawberry skin, chicken skin. It's like the tiny little red bumps.
red bump, and sometimes it's like not super bumpy. It's just little red,
Just
like,
dots. Yeah, I have it on my arms.
Mhm.
I get it on my arms, my inner thighs. I started using it for that as well. I will say, I haven't noticed a pigmentation change, but the raisedness,
texture.
the texture has gotten better. But yeah, I love the glycolic acid solution. I will say on your face in the winter, I don't use it as much because it's super drying
Mm-hmm.
and harsh. It's an acid, so very exfoliating. But I think it has made my skin from head to toe so much softer. I did not get butt acne a single time this summer. Like
Wow.
literally not one time. And I usually when you go out and you're in jeans or leggings and you sit for a while and you're sweating, I'm like, that's when I would break out.
Mm-hmm.
Not once this whole summer. And I also have been using it on my underarms.
Oh.
And I swear to God, I stopped smelling.
Interesting.
Like it has helped with BO. And obviously, like I wear deodorant, but I could
Yeah.
not wear deodorant.
Probably just like really exfoliating out
Yeah.
some extra skin cells or something.
Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
I got that toner once upon a time. Maybe it was last year for
Mhm.
my back acne.
Yeah.
A lot of my breakouts are hormonal, but
Mhm.
not all of it is. And so I was like, if I can help prevent any of this,
Yeah.
it just felt really sticky on my skin.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And I didn't notice it helped really either.
It's
with
not
mine personally.
yeah, it's not really the most comfortable thing to put on.
Mm-hmm.
My routine is to get out of the shower. I immediately put it on out of the shower.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll like do some face skincare, like gua sha, brush my teeth, whatever. And then I will put on body lotion.
Yeah.
So I feel like the lotion kind of like seals it in, but also gets rid of that sticky feeling.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't have that luck with it, but I mean, everybody's different.
yeah, I think that's my biggest beauty tip right now.
Yeah, mine is when I discovered vitamin C serum and just vitamin C products, my skin somehow loves that shit.
I don't use vitamin C, which is crazy because I'm like obsessed with skincare.
Yeah.
And we can take this offline, but one of
Yeah.
my skincare New Year's resolutions is to fix like my redness
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I've addressed like all of my other skin issues and I'm ready to like take the step to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like vitamin C helps with pigmentation, so
I can give you some racks of what I started with
Yeah.
versus like what I use now.
amazing. Do you have any other New Year's resolutions?
I haven't thought about my New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, that's the only one I've thought of, to be fair.
I literally was talking with my psychiatrist today about like goal setting and stuff, and I was like, it's just hard to like picture the future
Yeah.
as someone whose mind works very like if I have an example or a rubric, then I can think more outside the box, which sounds
Yeah.
so stupid, but like yeah, if I
Yeah.
don't know, I just like so I'm working on like 2 weeks to a month away maybe at that point.
Hannah and I's homework will be to talk about New Year's resolutions on the next episode when we can have time to think about
Yeah, I kind of sit and think of this one.
I know.
Yeah.
I just want to get rid of my redness.
Well,
That's it.
Well, I guess speaking of tips, we can get into some tips for men.
Tips?
Yeah, your booty hacks. Oh, just the tip, please.
Tips for men?
Yeah, I think we can start talking about men now.
Everyone's favorite part of the episode.
Yeah,
Tips for men. Are we going to tell men what to do?
No, I've just been noticing something in the last like month and a half. If
Okay.
I'm swiping on an app,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm swiping on an app, there are a lot of men who use somewhat, not necessarily outdated looking, but you can tell the
Oh.
pixel quality isn't there.
It was taken on a
Or
potato.
or like they're wearing like a polo and like maybe like a puka shell necklace or something. And
Not
I'm
the puka shell.
like, was this on your MySpace page?
It's like the pursed lips and the sideways
Yeah.
peace sign.
Yeah, and it's like,
A sideways hat, perhaps.
you know, like the age might be like 32 or 33. And I'm like, this looks like, I mean, it's you in the photo, but your hair's a little longer.
There's a chance it was taken on an LG chocolate.
Yeah. And actually, there's a reflection in the mirror because it's a mirror pic.
Yeah.
So no.
It was a razor.
Yeah, like I saw someone even yesterday. I was just like bored swiping and somebody's like popped up and I'm like, this looks like a high school graduation. You're like 27 years old on Hinge.
Yeah.
Why is your high school graduation picture in here?
Oh my God.
It blows my mind. Anyway, so I'm not saying you have to have like a picture that's from like last week, but you know, like maybe in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Would be great.
I feel like I was really bad at updating my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would use them and I would be like, oh, this is definitely from like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, do I really look that different?
Not really. And honestly, sometimes I think like one picture, if it's like 4 to 5 years ago, isn't terrible.
Yeah. I'm like, we had good pandemic content that's not just going to sit.
Yeah. But it's
Give
just
it FaceTime.
I literally just like sit there and I'm like, I also am very paranoid that like someone's gonna be like, you don't look like your pictures.
Yeah, same.
And so I'm always like, they have to be the most recent that I possibly can make them.
We talked about this on a previous episode.
We
how one
totally
of my
did.
guy friends was like sending me pictures of girls he's going on dates with, and I'm like, bro, this literally like has Facetune watermarked in the bottom right hand corner.
Exactly.
I'm like, her teeth are radiating white. The whites. I'm like, how did you not notice this? And he's like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you will when you see her in person.
Yeah. It's so yeah. Anyway, I'm just like always hyper aware of it for myself. So I think sometimes I can also, again, when it's like pixelated and you look like 10 years younger than your other photos.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and it's
obvious.
not supposed to be like a quintessential throwback,
Right.
like prompt or something
Yeah.
for it. Anyway,
Listen,
advice to men: don't post your MySpace photos as your profile picture
unless it's ironic.
Yeah.
And I want to caveat, I am pro picture editing, but not on dating apps.
Yeah.
Like, if you're posting that shit on Instagram, girlies, go off, get it. But if, again, on, like, Hinge, I'm like, you got to keep that shit natural.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe, like, the brightness or something. Like,
Oh,
very
yeah.
minor,
Like,
but no face tuning.
Like,
No
actual
face
photo
tuning.
editing. I mean, like,
Yeah.
don't make the bridge of your nose smaller. Have you noticed on those hang on, this pisses me off.
Yeah.
I feel like, first of all, one thing that a lot of people have in common is that they don't like their nose.
Sure.
Like, I know a lot of people who are like, I want a nose job. I'm one of them.
And I like your nose.
Everyone says that. I mean, not everyone says they like my nose. Everyone who says they don't like their nose.
Everyone goes,
everyone
nice to meet
else.
you. I like your nose.
Yes, that's the first thing people notice about me.
They nosed it.
Noted.
I'm sorry, that was so stupid.
That was so dumb, but I loved it. Yes, the first thing that they notice about me is my nose. Where the fuck was I? Oh, a lot of people don't like their noses, right? So I have noticed on those beauty filters on TikTok, on Snapchat. The main thing that they do is shrink the size of your nose.
Yeah, they make them super, and your eyes get big and your nose gets tiny.
And yeah, like your face gets smaller, and then you just end up looking like
a doll.
Yeah. Like, I stare at them sometimes. I stare at myself in them, and then I flip back and forth to like no filter, beauty filter, and I just try to assess what changes it's making. And I'm like, wait, I kind of like the way I look in the beauty filter. Obviously, it's beauty filter. But then I'm like, why do I like it? And I try to switch back and forth between them. And I'm like, oh, because it gave me a cute-ass little button nose, like yours.
Thank you.
Dumb bitch. Hannah has a perfect nose. Everyone go compliment her nose.
Thank you. But I also will notice that sometimes it shrinks your nose a lot.
Yeah.
And then it looks stupid. And I'm like, who thought this was a good idea?
I don't know. I also think those are really obvious when people use them. I used to use one on Snapchat that I loved like religiously. And if you are friends with me on my private story, you probably remember my COVID era of like strictly recording in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw a video, like a memory of myself from that era this morning, actually. And I was like, I look so bad. Why did I think this looked good?
I thought you looked good, but
I'll pull it up after the episode.
Can you post it on our social?
Yeah, like you can see that it's just not me.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'd be like, this is you filtered, but like in the moment, I never was like, this is heavily filtered.
There's one in particular where like I just feel like maybe I had a lot of makeup on too,
Oh.
so it looks like mad fake, and I'm just like, why did I post this for the world to see?
I mean, it was always like obvious that you're using a filter, but not like a bad filter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. In the moment, though, who's to say it was COVID? My brain was fucked, and it still is.
Yeah, and that Snapchat filter is like a key part of my identity, as was the one that's like kind of purple hued, that like everyone used. Yeah.
One of my go-to ones was a way back when they started doing filters, and it wasn't the flower crown one, but it was like the gold, like goddessy one.
Yeah.
And it edited your face just
perfect.
And your skin texture was gone, and you got a really pretty crown, and there was
skin
like
texture. No.
This woman has wrinkles. Murder her.
Speaking of wrinkles, I hung out with like 23-year-old girls this weekend. It was so scary.
Oh no.
It was really scary. They were nice and fine. Like truly, I have nothing bad to say about their personalities except for the fact that I felt so old. And it wasn't their fault, obviously. They were like friends of friends of friends.
No, I think it's intentional.
What? That they made me feel old?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just like get so self-conscious. I'm like, do you think I look old?
Yeah.
What? I'm like, is my outfit not cool enough? Like it really, really got to me. Yeah. So did going out on Blackout Wednesday.
Oh yeah, your favorite holiday.
My favorite holiday. I got to experience it in College Park, Maryland.
Oh my God.
Yeehaw. I went out with Lucy and her boyfriend Nick and some of his friends from Maryland, and I thought that maybe going out in a college town on Blackout Wednesday would be okay because you might think that the college kids go home. And they said that it was kind of like an older crowd last year, so maybe we're just like suddenly aged like 30 years and one. But everyone was so like infantile looking, like so young.
That's tough.
Like I'm like, you must be using a fake ID. Like it was just so
what,
crazy.
some of them probably were.
Oh, I'm sure some of them were. I'm sure most of them were.
Yeah.
But me and Lucy just sat there and we were like, oh my God, we have got to get out of here.
Ugh.
And it like made it not fun because I felt so old. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, where'd you get your shirt? What? The girls will understand this. I'm like, what is the cool sneaker of the season?
Oh, I want to know the slang.
Yeah.
I want to know what you can't say anymore.
Yeah, what you can't say, what like you can say, like what are the cool words that they're using now? Yeah, it was interesting though. I didn't identify one single cool sneaker. There was a gamut. I saw some Adidas. I saw some Converse. Lots of Vans. I was like,
Vans are making a comeback.
Vans are making a comeback in the cool girl world.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of Vans wherever I go now too, and I'm like, this didn't used to be a thing.
I know.
Stop appropriating our culture.
Yeah. What was the cool girl sneaker when you were in college? Like, what's the first cool girl sneaker you remember?
I don't know if it's a cool girl, but I remember what all the girls were wearing.
What was it?
It was a white Converse.
Okay, yeah. Low top white Converse.
And high. They were both.
I
remember a lot of high top.
Yeah. I remember white Converse, like, taking over Chapel Hill, North Carolina's sorority scene.
Yeah,
like, by storm.
It was a lot because they would always wear them tailgating, and then it would be muddy. And then be like, I'm going to have to clean my Converse. And I was like, that's crazy. Because for those who don't know, I have a wide foot, so I can't wear Converse. So I could never be a cool kid. But I wore a lot of Keds in college.
I always feel like Keds are so narrow, which is so interesting.
They make wide.
Oh, nice.
So I'm a 7 wide in Keds.
Yeah. Do you want to know who still goes out in white high top Converse every weekend?
You?
Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah. I've fallen victim to a lot of cool girl sneaker trends.
I've always liked Adidas.
Yeah.
And I used to have a pair. I remember having my first pair that I really loved was like in 5th grade, white, and the stripes were like a very light lavender.
Beautiful.
Kind of sparkly.
Like the original Superstar?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And so then when I was in college, I was like, I had my Keds and I had a pair of like slip-on Vans, but I was like, I want like sneakers I like.
Yeah.
So I got a pair of Adidas Neo, and so it didn't have like all of the stitching on it that like
Right. The front weren't as hard plastic.
yeah,
I
it was
remember
like
those.
soft and
Yeah.
and like just like a classic look
I have
with
those.
the black stripe.
Yeah, I have those in all white actually, and
Mhm.
I keep them at home at my parents' house for like a backup white sneaker when I go home.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
really loved those. And now I have a pair of Adidas that are a collab with someone I forget, but they're like a neon orange,
I
and then the
love
back
those.
has like the black around the inside, looks like it's dripping out the back.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
cool.
Those are my cool sneakers right now.
I've been loving my Sambas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm an indoor soccer player now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're so athletic.
It's like you buy the shoes, and then it's just like suddenly you have the
I heard
jersey
you
and
have-
everything in the mail.
I heard you have all these knee and ankle problems because you're a professional soccer player.
And that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, what you're hearing is true.
Yeah.
I did fall victim to the Fila trend a couple years ago, the really big dino stompers.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I like them again, and I want to wear them like to Echo Stage.
Yeah, I have a pair of bright yellow ones.
Yeah.
And I like wearing them as like a fun bit.
What are they
'cause it's
called? I'm blanking on the name.
I don't know, because I don't know if mine were the same ones as yours, but they are very big and chunky.
All I can think of is Dino Stomper.
Yeah, that's not the
Yeah,
name.
but that's not the actual name. That's just what all the misogynistic men used to call them when they would see them out.
Why are you wearing those? So I can step on your face, Edward. Grow up.
Edward, we were sticking on the Twilight trend,
Oh
or
my
is
God,
that
we
from
can.
something?
I was just thinking of like a white man.
Oh, I would think more of like a Chad for
I
that.
know, but we always use a Chad and a Brad, and I wanted to switch it up.
Edward sounds very like old money.
And he would pay me a lot of money to step on his face.
I'm sure he would.
Man, Edward,
Yeah.
if you're out there, hit a girl up.
Yeah, do you think Edward would gaslight you?
I don't know. Maybe not. If he's paying me to step on his face.
This is kind of reminding me of something we talked about recently.
Okay.
And how much I hate the idea of role playing in the wild.
Oh my God.
Like-
yeah.
Like, okay, I know we're getting into the holiday season here, and I just watched Four Christmases in preparation.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who haven't seen it, to spoil the very first scene for you, it starts with the main couple role playing in like a bar. And by role playing, I mean literally like she's acting as a woman named Daphne who's not interested in this guy who's hitting on her. And then he gets his confidence up and is like, "Don't walk away from me, bitch." And then she's like, "Oh, that's so hot." And then they like have sex in the bathroom. It's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, so I'm not spoiling anything, but it really makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, not to kink shame, but to kink shame. Like, I just am
Fair.
not into that. I'm like, I don't want to be like, okay, babe, we're going into this restaurant. I'm going to be named like Ellen and you're going to be Dan and we're going to be like stepbrother. Like, it's just weird. I'm
no,
like, I don't-
Ellen, that's not what I said.
Yeah. I'm like, what's the kink? Like, were you a theater kid?
Maybe.
Did you want to be a theater kid and now this is you,
You know-
taking out your acting passion?
You know what it could be?
What?
They got married and moved to the suburbs and didn't get to live out their full potential, so they have to role play the life they wish they had.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's probably what it is. There's someone out there who's probably done a lot of research on that. I think going in like a restaurant or something as a bit is funny, like kind of ironically. I don't think I could do it in a way that's like, this is turning me on. I think it'd be
Right.
like, it would be so funny to go in and be like, wear whatever,
Yeah.
and then like just go with the whole night. Like, cause like I like to know with the
Yeah.
girlfriends too.
Yeah,
like,
we've,
oh,
like-
let's pretend like we have different names or something.
I've been an Australian exchange student a time or two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've convinced people that my name wasn't my name.
Right.
And then when we became friends, I was like, I have something to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Shit,
exactly.
I'm sorry.
But I'm not like that doesn't do it
turn
for
on.
me.
No, I think it's a fun bonding experience regardless who you're with.
I don't know.
But it's not going to put me in heat.
It absolutely not. We're never gonna say that ever again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. That scene, it sticks with me. Like I will keep waking up and I'm like, you know that TikTok where it's just like, and you like twitch at the sound. That's what I think of when I think of that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the holiday movies, let's talk about our upcoming holiday traditions.
Okay.
We've lightly gone over it, but I know we have some.
We've gone over, I think, a lot of our friend ones. I don't think we've gotten into any family family chit chat.
Oh yeah, your family's huge in the Christmas traditions.
You know, we are, but ironically, this year we ain't doing a damn thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my family's Italian. It's very large, and historically on Christmas Eve we have done the Feast of the Seven Fishes, hosted by my grandma and then taken over by my aunt in like the last decade. And my mother does Christmas Day dinner, which is equally as large, just not as formal.
Mm-hmm.
So two like really big back-to-back celebrations. But yeah, this year we're just doing like a small like cocktail party on the 23rd
Mm-hmm.
with my whole extended family, and then we're doing just like your nuclear immediate family on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So it'll be a little bit of a changing tradition.
That's gonna be lovely.
Yeah, but you know, the generations are growing, so
Yeah.
hosting everyone at once is becoming increasingly
A
difficult.
lot of little guys. and
Yeah,
girls.
there's babies and just like, you know, people wanting to spend more time with their immediate
Yeah.
families. So,
For sure.
yeah.
That's fun.
But-
Any other like nuclear traditions that you're looking forward to?
Let me think. We always watch the original Rudolph on Christmas Eve,
Fair.
which I absolutely love. And we always open one gift on Christmas Eve.
Oh, cute.
It's usually like one of the like nicer things.
Okay.
Like when my dad got us those rings, we did that on Christmas Eve.
Oh, cute.
It's interesting. I don't know where that tradition came from, but it was always like something to look forward
There's
to.
I know several families that do that, and I think it always is like, I don't know. I think some of the families, it might have been a way to appease the kids if they go to like midnight mass.
Mm.
Because you come
Yeah,
home from mass
maybe.
and you can open a gift before bed or right before you leave or something.
That
but
was like in our church era, so maybe
Yeah.
it was to get us to like behave during church.
perhaps, I don't know, but I mean, you're not. Sorry, you're not unique for doing that.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
It's crazy.
Yeah. What about you?
Our Christmases have always been pretty chill. Growing up, my dad's parents lived nearby, so we
Mhm.
would do Christmas morning at our place and they would come over, and then like my sister and I would open, because my sister and I are the youngest cousins on like my dad's side.
Got it.
So like all of my other cousins were in college or something at that point.
Yeah.
So they would come and watch us open gifts, and then they would leave, and then we would all get ready and go to their house. And my grandma, we would do more presents there with all the cousins and aunts and uncles. My
Mhm.
grandma would have a huge brunch spread. We
Oh
would
my
brunch,
God.
and then normally that's pretty much it on Christmas Day, and then maybe later in the day or the next day we'd go to my mom's parents in Maryland, and like
Nice.
my cousin over there and stuff like that would meet us.
I always envy people who grow up not in Florida on Christmas
Yeah.
because yeah, I as much as I love it, I wake up and it's 80 fucking degrees
Yeah.
and I can like go to the pool and look at palm trees.
We never had many white Christmases, but always the prospect of having one has been an exciting
Yeah.
part of my life.
And like just being chilly and cozy is so much more holiday-esque than being sweaty and humid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what our Christmases are now, is we don't have a lot of extended family in the area, so it's
Yeah.
more nuclear now. I hang out with my parents. We watch TV and make brunch together
That
and
sounds
sit
so
by the
nice.
fireplace. And then at some point, we go over to my sister and brother-in-law's
Mm-hmm.
and hang out with them and their dog and open family
Amazing.
presents. And then we'll do like Christmas pizza or Christmas nachos.
Love.
And watch a Christmas
I'm
story.
excited to like experience more of that this year.
Yeah.
Because of the size of my family and the formality of our celebrations, I have literally never known a peaceful holiday season.
Yeah, it's life changing because we stay in our PJs all day and
That's
I drink
fucking
all
incredible.
day.
Yeah.
This year we decided that we were gonna get the entire family, the nuclear family, the five of us, matching Christmas outfits. So we
Oh my
all
God.
got Costco Kirkland sweatpants and
I love
sweatshirts
that.
that have Costco wholesale on it, embroidered. So
I want those.
yeah, we're gonna wear our comfies on Christmas.
Yeah.
So.
My original Christmas Eves used to start like we would have to be somewhere by noon. So we would be at my like family friend's house at noon for that means like as a woman what you're starting to get ready at 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so starting to get ready let's say by 10:30, then leaving the house at 11:30 at our family friend's house at 12 for like a glass of champagne and like a charcuterie board whatever,
Oh my
some
God.
appetizer. Then we would go to church from 2 to like 3:30. Then we would drive an hour to my grandmother's house, get there around 4:30, and then we would do the whole Christmas Eve dinner and get home at like midnight.
Damn.
So it was like a 12-hour Christmas Eve, and then we basically woke up the next day and did it all over again.
There was a period of time when we would go to my aunt's on Christmas Eve, local.
Yeah.
And then when all of the kids and stuff moved away, and it was my sister and I, we would go to our like best family friend neighbor's house because they live right down the street, and would do that on Christmas. But a lot of the times they would go to midnight mass, so we'd just be there until like, you know, they would leave for church, and then we'd all like go home.
Yeah. Only my sister and her husband go to midnight mass. The rest of my family does.
Yeah. I mean, we're not a religious family, so we never really worried about that. So it's just a lot of drinking and eating. But we started more at like the 4 o'clock range of like the dinner, like food. It was not an all day event. That is exhausting.
It was. I remember one year, I had this pair of Steve Madden. All the millennials are going to like love this. It was Steve Madden gold glitter platform T-strap heels.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I probably bought them at TJ Maxx or like DSW, and I was in them from noon getting to our family friend's house until we got home at like midnight, and I was like, I was just in those heels for 12 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. I have a question. What's your favorite appetizer? We were just talking about like hors d'oeuvres and stuff, so now I'm thinking about mine.
I'm a big dip girl.
Same. Oh, yeah. When we've had dip parties.
Yeah. I mean, I love cheese. Cheese is always great.
Yeah.
But cheese dips, guacamoles, salsas.
Mine is spinach. Yeah. My sister makes a spinach dip that I can't replicate. My oldest sister is like an amazing cook. Well, my middle sister Chrissy is too, but Melissa's like the cook of the family, and she can just kind of be in a kitchen and put something together that tastes like it should be in a Michelin star restaurant like that.
Amazing.
And her specialty is Italian, obviously, but she makes this spinach dip, not artichoke, just spinach dip, and it is so good every year. Whenever she brings it to one of our family events, it's like everyone's just congregated around it until it's gone.
Oh wow.
But I can't replicate it. I keep thinking that it's like the brands she buys, because she'll be like, buy a block of like whatever Colby Jack cheese, and I'm like, okay, well, are you buying Publix brand? Because I'm buying Whole Foods brand, and it's gonna be different.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I can't make it taste perfect. But that's my favorite.
Well, speaking of siblings and dips, this was a very controversial topic when my sister and Scott first were together.
Yeah.
And like living together.
I love a good controversy.
The question is, what do you think is the first layer of a 7-layer dip? The top or the bottom?
Oh, I don't know. My brain went to the top, to the like sour cream or whatever is on top. But then I guess technically the first would be number 1, what you're putting directly in the pan, which is refried beans, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm not sure. Can I have a whole week-long episode cycle to think about it?
You can think about this. But Kelly and Scott would debate this, and it got into a little bit of like a heated, not super heated, but like a joking heated argument. Because Kelly and I think the same, and Scott
I'm
thinks
not
something
sure
different.
I actually know what all 7 layers of 7-layer dip are, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, let's try.
It's refried beans. I'm going to start with the ones I know. These aren't necessarily in order.
That's
refried
fair.
beans, sour cream, cheese, black olives. Is there
that a layer
lettuce?
or is?
I think it's technically a layer.
Okay, lettuce and tomato or
Lettuce
no,
and tomato.
salsa.
So that's 6. What's the last? Oh, meat? No.
Beans, cheese, guac, sour cream, salsa, lettuce,
Black olives.
cheese.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we've got like
We're almost
around
there.
7.
Yeah.
If you had to cut 2 out, which would you cut?
I would cut.
Counting black olives as a layer.
Okay, I would cut the guac and the lettuce. I would
Guac?
because I would want guacamole separately.
Fair. That's fair. That's a really good assessment, actually.
I
And
think it's great in 7-layer dip, but sometimes I want it separate.
weird take. I adore iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, I do too.
Just like a good fucking watery crunch. Oh my God, it's so good. And I like it. This is also weird. No one come for me on
no,
this.
I'm about to say something weird too after you.
I love like when this is so weird. Audrey hates me for it. I love when food that isn't supposed to be soggy gets soggy.
Oh, really?
Like the lettuce in 7-layer dip has lost all of its fucking crunch by the time I'm buying it off the Harris Teeter shelf.
For sure.
Love it.
Oh.
The same with like a second day like hoagie or sub.
What about a second day salad that had iceberg?
Second day salad is a little better, but freaks me out only because one of my friends got food poisoning from it once.
From the lettuce,
lettuce, like sitting in the refrigerator for too
Oh.
long, and that gets me. But for some reason, I like okay it in a sub or a dip.
Yeah.
But also in terms of second day sandwiches, I talk with my hands so much.
That's fine.
I'm just like here pointing at Hannah.
I'm literally sitting on my other hand, so I don't. I'm like moving my legs.
Second day subs when the bread's a little soggy.
Oh, that's good though. I like a little soggy.
I love when it gets like all mayo-y and oily, and you
That's
just like
why I
nyeh,
like
nyeh.
oil and vinegar because it gets a little soggy with a little tang.
I love it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like it. I really like it.
Well, for me, the iceberg lettuce, I just
Yeah.
love it with like some cheese and like a tortilla.
Yes.
So
same.
easy.
Same.
Yeah. Love
Oh my
it.
God. Yum.
Mm.
Like a bad Taco Bell taco.
No, more like a wrap.
Oh, like a soft wrap.
Mhm.
Oh, why do I do this?
Like a soft wrap. Because
Um,
you're Italiano.
I know I can actually end with a funny story on that.
Bella, we made Italiano.
I was at an
Twilight.
Italian restaurant once with my family, and I was sitting next to my dad, who was wearing a white silk button-down shirt. And
Bold.
we were drinking red wine, and our waiter, who is a good friend of ours from like just constantly going to this restaurant in Florida, was telling a joke about how if you ever want an Italian to stop talking, you just have to hold their hands behind their back. And we were like, oh, ha ha, Alfredo, that was so funny. Good joke. He walks away. I start doing literally exactly what I just did, talking with my hands, flicking my wrist, just like being animated. My dad's red wine glass is sitting directly to my right, and I just whack it. And it goes literally all over him from the crown of his head to his waistline in red wine in this white silk shirt. And it was like so bad that it was actually hilarious, and he wasn't mad at me
Yeah.
because of the timing of the joke and the surface area I covered.
Yeah.
But
You
I think
can't
about
plan that.
that all the time when I'm talking, and I'm just like, I don't know why I like.
Mr. Milne's wearing a white silk shirt to eat probably something with red sauce
Oh,
and
yeah.
drink red wine, which I know he loves.
And like the biggest point of contention in my parents' relationship growing up is that my dad would stain every single article of clothing that he bought. And my mother was always the one doing the laundering and would just be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like soak this for like 3 years just to get the stupid tomato sauce out.
Oh, men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta love it.
We were pretty light on the hatred of men on this episode.
Yeah, we're just getting back into things
Yeah,
after
we're
a week
gonna-
off.
It's been a while.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. To the men listening. Tune in next week.
Yeah. Maybe don't. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Or not.
We'll see. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Give
This
us a
was fun.
follow, like, subscribe,
Rate, review.
Yeah. Tell a friend. Tell your mailman.
Yeah. I love mailmen.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Mail carriers, I guess. Letter
Yeah.
carrier is to say.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed episode 11. See you next week, stupid idiots.
Bye.
Bye.